had to move the camera. I just couldn't get in, and I wasn't going to risk messing up the silver soldering for the sake of filming it. So anyway, I'm going to leave that, clean that up, and then hopefully I'll be able to show you how it's turned out. Right, pretty pleased how that's turned out. I've had a good look down. I'm pretty sure it's got good penetration. It hasn't come through this seam here, but from what I can see it's got good penetration on the other side. And what I should probably do is just run a bead along this seam when I do the ends. I've got some more soldering to do on the ends, so when I do that I'll run some in there, so that'll be all good. Let's see if I can I can prop that up and get you in there. It's got good penetration in there around the edges and everywhere. It's got to be redone on this end and the other end when I do the cap ends, but I can now move on to do the throat plate now that I've got it all sealed up. Yeah, sorry I couldn't film much of the soldering. It was just a bit awkward how I got the camera set up, and it was in the way. I had to move it out of the way. I couldn't risk messing this up just for the sake of a bit of YouTube footage, so I had to move the camera out of the way. But I've got a lot more silver soldering to do on this yet, and I'll be filming some more of the external stuff so you can see a bit more about what's going on. Right, they're the fire tubes. We're sort of getting there now. We've got the firebox ready, the fire tubes. Just going to clean up these ends and then put them in the pickle, and then we'll be ready to solder them all in. Right, that's all of those cut to length, deburred. They're obviously all going to go in there. So I think I'm at the stage now where I need these and these and a few rivets to go in the pickle. Yeah, so let's get the pickle mixed up and get these in it, and then we'll be back for silver soldering. put a few rivets in some pickle, and I'll be back when they're ready. Right, that's what I'm using. It's the Stay Sealed. This is the black. It's the high temperature brazen flux. It lasts longer without spoiling, so you can have more heat on it for longer. Alright, I'm going to pour a little bit out because I don't want to contaminate the rest of the pot. Right, I'm going to rivet this together. I'm going to rivet that on there, so I need to get some flux down in between. Right, I had to make this is my squeezer, and I had to make a new jaw for this squeezer because I didn't have anything with enough reach to get in this box, so I just made that up out of about a 20mm steel. Right, get some rivets in there. Right. Alright, just get the end plate on the fire tubes, which will hold them in position. This bit wasn't going particularly well. The fire tubes kept falling out. I couldn't find a way to hold the whole thing securely enough to be confident to start soldering it, so I'm not going to dwell on this. I did spend a couple of hours faffing around trying to get it to work, but I couldn't get it to work properly, so I did abandon this part. But as you'll see further on in the video, I did find a way of holding the tubes and everything in position. Right, time for a little bit of silver soldering with the fire tubes. See it rigged up in there. I've I've done with the top, get that into focus. Right, what I've done with the fire tubes at the top, I've drilled some tiny little holes in them and poked some wires through, because I've made a little jig thing down the bottom here which goes underneath these tubes and holds them at the right height. But I've got to take this jig out for when I do the silver soldering. So these and this little rig here should stop all of the tubes from falling down when I take this board out. So anyway, let's get on with that. I've also got little rings of solder all round each post, each fire tube, and down the sides and round the rim, so when I heat it all up from underneath, the solder should just fall into place. But I have got some additional on standby to use if I need to feed any in. In the right place. just in case anyone's interested, this is a Bullfinch 1260. The actual nozzle measures about 48 millimeters, but it gives a 60 millimeter spread. I think that's how they work the nozzle out. So that's what I'm using, and it's just straight propane. Right, I'm going to leave that to cool down now. Naturally, I'm not going to dunk it on account of the fact it'll probably twist it and cock it up completely. Shock cool it, I don't want that at all. I just want to let it cool naturally. Yeah, I think I've got good coverage. Certainly looks like it at the moment anyway, and underneath there's quite a good flow of solder as well that's gone through the joints. So anyway, what I'm going to do, I'll let that cool down, pickle it, and then we'll take a look at it. Right, to show you the fire tubes relative to the engine. This is obviously all part of the boiler. These are the fire tubes we've just silver soldered on. This is the end view, looking down the engine. They call this the front view on a traction engine. I think it's opposite on a locomotive, but anyway, this is what's called the front view, which is where the firebox is. So the fire tubes are now silver soldered onto the firebox. I've got to do, which is this side. I've got another plate to silver solder on this side, but I've got a cutout for the hole to stoke the fire hole door. So anyway, that's what the fire tubes are relative to the boiler. Right, as you can see, got pretty good penetration. I've had a look the best I can, sort of right in the middle, but obviously I can't see that 100%, but you can see there's really good penetration through the seams and everything. On the inside, get that to stand up without falling over. On the inside, it's the same story. Worked out quite well, quite pleased with that. So good. That's one little job sorted now. It's the boiler and the firebox part of the boiler.